So debt is one place in money that people feel so kind of bogged down by. It's so frustrating and people want out. They do. And that's why a lot of people come to Ramsey Solutions and some of our channels, because we talk about this and we talk to real people doing this day in and day out. And so I just want you to know that there's hope. If you're in the middle of your journey, maybe you're starting your journey, or maybe you've paid off debt and you're able just to kind of bask in the idea of like, I did it. Regardless, we want debt out of your life. And so Jade Warshaw is one of our Ramsey personalities, and she's incredible, y'all. Her story is unbelievable. She and her husband, Sam, paid off $460,000 in debt. And it took them close to 7.5 years to do it. So if there is someone to talk about getting out of debt, she is the real deal. So she's going to come on and we're going to have a conversation about it, because it is encouraging and a great reminder that you can do this if you're in this journey. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And let's get into my conversation with my friend Jade Warshaw. Well, Jade, thanks for coming back on.
You bet. Anytime, Rachel.
Thank you. I know you've shared your story on here before, but I do think, as I continue to read comments and people find us, whether it's like on YouTube or podcasts, this idea of getting out of debt still feels impossible to a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, it is an overwhelming thing to sit down, you look at your finances, you realize you're in trouble, and there's something that you have to do about that in that moment.
Yeah.
People don't like changing their routines, right? We feel a very close personal connection to the way we do things, how we spend our money. So when you realize that you have to make changes, it's very tough.
Yes. And so you and Sam started this process. How long were y'all married when you got...
About a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you decided, okay, let's just add everything up and see, it was what, 460,000 right over that?
It was. So 460,000 is more so after all the interests and things like that. So in the moment, it didn't look like 460, but you have to remember this went over 7.5 years. So that interest was still rolling on the student loans. But yeah, we sat down actually with your dad's book, Total Money Makeover. It was the workbook edition. And so yeah, you're writing out all of those numbers, which is so important so that you see the reality. And the truth is in the moment, it's very painful and it can feel like there's no hope, but you've just got to focus on the fact that I'm doing this because quickly after it, I'm going to take a bunch of actions and I'm going to be able to do something about it. So don't get discouraged when you first write it down and it's overwhelming.
Yes, because what I like about it is the actions you all took. It's something we talk about here at Ramsey all the time. So they're not new if you've been watching this channel for a while. But what I love about it is I'm like, there are actions that you can take if you're $2,000 in debt.
That's right.
$2 million in debt, right? I'm like, it across the span of a dollar amount, it really is about this idea of I'm going to put in consistent work and do steps that are kind of common sense, but they work over a period of time.
Yeah. I found that, so we talk about budgeting, for instance, right? It's kind of like that first foundational step. And you find that you think you know how to do it, or you think you've been doing it. Yeah. But then when you laser into a plan, you go, oh gosh, here were some layers that I was missing. Like for us, we forgot you need a miscellaneous category. For us, we forgot that $1,000, like baby step one, you need that. And a lot of us try to go past that because we get overzealous and it's like, I want all the money to go to the debt. And you realize, oh no, I need this. So you think, I've got this on lock. And then as you start walking, you realize, no, there's a lot of areas I can tighten up in, even on the basics.
Yes, totally. And what's wild too, I always feel like when you are thinking about something, because I'm so guilty of this, Jade. I'll have all these thoughts. So whether it's like about health or spirituality, it's all these thoughts. And I can have thoughts and opinions like all day, like, oh, this. But I'm like, until my actions change, does your life change, right?
That's right.
And so I'm a real great intaker of stuff and can rattle off things. But then to actually put in the discipline to live it out, I feel like is so hard. But number one, you would say, is the budget. And I feel like that's the truth. What you're just saying, it is so good. Like you can know this, but until you actually live it out, you're really not going to feel the difference.
That's right. And the budget is that. So I love what you're saying. It makes me think of James Clear. Remember, he says the motion versus action. It's like you're getting all this information. That's the motion. And you feel great about that. Oh, I know about it. But then the action is, okay, now I've got the budget. I actually have to live it out, do the action, stick to the line items, communicate with my spouse, connect my bank, do all of the things that the doing is the uncomfortable part.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Yes.
But the good thing is when you do it and you are successful, you have that first month where it may have been not have been perfect. It may have been a little messy, but you did it. You feel confident and you feel good about yourself. And then you want to keep doing it the next month. And so that budget, so important. We always say, Rachel, zero-based, which that's one of those, I know.
Yes.
But when you do it, you go, wait a second, it is me giving every single dollar an assignment. I've been guilty of saying, well, I paid my rent, my mortgage, my groceries, my car payment, kind of like those, non-negotiables. And then whatever's left, that's like my treat yourself money.
Yes.
You can't do that. You have to give even the treat yourself money an assignment so that it's being spent the way it should be.
Yes.
So that's so important. And usually it's to go towards debt.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That's right. Yeah, especially when you have that margin to throw it there. Something else that creates a lot of margin you talk about is lowering your spending.
Yes.
So you and Sam, I know, did this.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, right? It's cutting back to bare bones. Obviously, we talk about 4 walls. Those are the things you need. You got to have your rent and mortgage. You got to have your utilities. You have to have transportation. Have to have food.
Yep.
A lot of us daycare. Like those are the things we must have insurance, right?
Yes.
But then there's a lot of things on our budget that are not necessities. We feel like they are because we're used to them. And honestly, you're probably not even thinking of them offhand because they're so ingrained in your lifestyle, right? But if you start writing them down, you see, oh gosh, I do spend money. We do go to the movies once a month, and I do get my nails done, and I do go get my roots dyed. Well, I don't get my roots dyed. But
I do, Jade. I do.
Not yet.
I had to start at 30, but it's fine. No big deal.
But those are the things, right? And
yes.
These are the things that are part of our budget that we don't realize are extras, even if they might be apps or, subscriptions, that sort of thing. So really go through with a fine-toothed comb. You're going to feel it, all right? Like you are going to feel that sacrifice, but that's good. That's how you know it's working.
I did a no-spend challenge and for the month. And that is what I think the biggest eye-opening thing was just like the impulse that I had to do something. Even going on Amazon. And I'm like, my kids were like, we need pens. And I'm like, okay, great. So I go on Amazon and I'm like, wait. No, we're not. Well, let's go find what you need. And if it's not what you need, we're not. I mean, like I really stuck to it because I think also it just revealed how quickly you're so ingrained in your spending and you really don't know until it stops.
That's right.
Until you force yourself to stop to really then realign and say, what do I need?
Oh man, Rachel, if you delete Amazon off your phone,
I know I can't.
You will realize how quickly you just automatically are like, I can't find the can opener.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I need a spatula and they're like, here's 8 in a bulk pack. I'm like, great.
I'll get 8. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
So terrible. Okay. Now the tactical way that you guys paid off debt is what we teach here at Ramsey, but it's the debt snowball.
That's right.
And there's a lot of like, you should do the debt avalanche because of, mathematically with interest and all the things. But just talk to me through the process, that journey, because it was a long one for you guys. On average, usually it's around that 18 to 24 month period. Yes. But you guys, it was longer, many years. So talk me through like how that was motivating with the debt snowball, but then also like what were points that were difficult? People that do have a long journey ahead. Yeah. What were the moments that were like, okay, maybe like, I don't know, we need a break. We need to like take a breather here for a second because that has to be a reality. You can't be like scorched earth for 6 years. Like that's just impossible.
Like mental health wise, you cannot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You make a good point, Rachel. So first, you're listing them smallest to largest by balance. And a lot of people can get thrown off by that because they might be thinking, hey, I have one that's not the smallest balance, but if I pay it off today, it'll free up more money, right?
Yes.
And so there's all these kind of mathematical arguments that mathematically there could be some validity to that, but paying off debt really is psychological, especially whether you have a 24-month journey, a 3-month journey, for us a 7.5-year journey. You need to make sure up here is feeling good and feeling strong. And so for us, we found most people have mini debts. It's not like 1 or 2, it's like 8 or 9, right? Whether it's a little medical bill or a little personal loan to their parents or tolls that you need to pay, from going through the tolls on the highway, that sort of thing. So for us, working smallest to largest, in many ways, it was like sweeping out or cleaning out a cabinet, right?
Yes.
You pull out all these things and you're like, holy smokes, I have a lot. But when you're able to pick up a pile all at once and toss it or give it to the Goodwill, you feel better. And so it's the same way with that debt. If you can knock out those little ankle biters, a $79 debt, a $200 debt, $150, they may seem small and, inconsequential, but to go from having 10 debts suddenly to 6 feels great. Yeah. And so don't underestimate that. A lot of times we go straight to the math, but just working them smallest to largest, not to mention, and I talked to a girl like on the Ramsey show the other day about this exact same thing. deciding I'm going to work a plan. I'm going to do what the plan says. I'm not going to come up with my own version. I'm not going to kind of like jerry rig it to be.
Totally.
Because if you have a long journey, you need something to anchor into and to say, I'm taking the guesswork out, I'm taking the thinking out, and I'm just following the plan that millions of people have followed. So for Sam and I, that was also the thing of like, when you're on year 3, it's like, let me just re-audit what I'm doing and make sure I'm sticking to the plan and doing what the plan says. It's just a good kind of like home base to go back to.
Well, it's almost more efficient from like a mental calories perspective, where you're just like, oh, I just go back to what I've been doing.
I don't have to figure this out.
Yes, I know. And the same is true. I'm like, and let's, not, this sounds prideful, I don't mean for it to be, but like, let the experts be the ones to tell you. Like, I think about the girl that helps us work out and stuff. She'll say stuff and I'm like, but I don't really want to do that. And she was like, well, if you want what you're telling me you want, you do have to. Like that.
You're coming to me for a reason.
That lunge, Rachel, needs to be like way lower if you're going to see a result.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why try to figure out what feels good to me and what I just think? But like, she knows what she's doing. So I'm like, I need to do what she does, even though it's painful and it's not fun. But I'm like, if I do want the results that I'm asking her to give me or like for me to have, right? You have to do it. So like, yes, let the experts do it. Like let them do their job and then you do yours on that end.
And there is a piece of that, you talked about this briefly, there is a piece of that if you're in this for the long haul, right? And we probably don't talk about this enough. You do need to take a breather, right? And so for Sam and I, it was kind of coming up with these moments of saying, once we paid off this debt, right? Whether for you it could be a $15,000 debt, a $25,000 debt, we're going to do X, Y, Z to celebrate. And so really just building in those milestones, if you can do it ahead of time, it's better. So you have a plan and you can look forward and go, okay, it's like a rest station.
That's good.
In a race. Like when I get here, I get to have water, I get to take a quick break, and then I'm at it again.
Yes.
So those milestones are really important.
No, I love that. All right, before we go on with this conversation, when you lose your employer-sponsored health insurance, there may be a better option than COBRA. Consider Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is an affordable, biblically based alternative to health insurance that could be a third of the price of COBRA. Yeah, CHM programs start as low as $98 a month, and CHM helps hundreds of thousands of families take care of over $11 billion in medical bills since 1981. CHM members are also supported spiritually with prayer when they have a medical event. So try getting that with COBRA because you will not. So whether you're going through a job loss, a life change, or just want to consider another option to save on healthcare costs, check out CHM. Learn more at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. Okay, something else that I know contributes to paying off debt. We talk about the biggest stuff was cutting back spending and then earning extra income. So earning extra money, I feel like is the one I hate the most. Like a part of me is like, I would rather cut things.
Yeah.
Because your time, right?
Yes.
I mean, like you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sacrifice the commodity that I think is so precious to so many people. It is our time.
It's big.
And especially if you're already working full time, to do that extra for a period of time, it does help fast forward the process.
100%.
Because you're earning that extra money. So talk through, I love all the stuff you guys did because y'all were pretty creative and you did it in a really smart way because you used what you're already good at.
That's right.
That helped.
That's right. So when you think about raising your income, you kind of think in two ways, right? The first is side hustle. Most of us could benefit from a side hustle, even if it's not paying off debt, if we're trying to purchase a new vehicle, right?
Yes.
Just like that burst of, I'm going to do this for this amount of time to accomplish a goal. Side hustle is great. And for debt, let me just say, if you can do it now, like if you're out there and you're not, unattached and you're not, married yet, this is a great time. You have all the time in the world. If you're out there, maybe you are in a relationship, but you don't have children yet, you're single or you're a couple newly married, do it now because when you do have kids, it does get tougher. You can still do it, but take advantage of the season of life that you're in. Build that, do that side hustle, build up that extra income, pay off your debt, right? The other side of it, though, that a lot of us face, and I know for Sam and I, was that core income. Because some of us, you're in your career and this is what you signed up to do, but the truth is the income you're making is just not sustainable for you in this season with this debt. And so we do need to look for, what does that mean long term? Do I need another certificate? Do I need to be applying for jobs that pay more? Do I need to be seeking out a path that might be a little bit longer of a path, but it's getting to you to the income you need? So for Sam and I, it was 7 years of figuring out how to go in that career path so that we could, pay off our debt with our actual income. Because you can't side hustle forever.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Totally,
and you can't side hustle for 7.5 years. So for Sam and I, it was getting in the right career track, which was entertainment. So that's so important. Side hustle until you can get the core income up.
I love it. And then the last one is just that stay the course, right? It's just that consistent day in and day out, just doing the thing you're supposed to do, right? That's going to help get the progress and the result that you needed, even though it's tiring and exhausting. And again, you're like the perfect model. I'm like the fact that it's like 7.5 years. I mean, it's just like, it's wild. That like almost a decade. Do you know what I mean? Like that's,
I know what you mean.
It's like, but it is. I'm like, so it's so funny now that we're like good friends and everything. And I know your story for a few years now. And people call and they're like, oh my God, it's going to take 8 months. I don't know if I can. I'm like, I can't even.
I know.
Jade Warshaw and Sam, like they did it. Like they did it. And if they can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
But it would, I'm sure, I mean, it's the marathon. It's the ultimate marathon that you guys ran.
It's tough. And I think the thing that makes me have some empathy towards the callers that maybe have a shorter journey.
That's nice. You have the empathy. Well,
here's the thing. Like, this is what I have found to be true. And I have a feeling that other people find it to be true. Some people have emotionally, they're kind of bent towards the change, right?
Yeah.
You are motivated, like your logical brain kicks in and you just go. Like you're not thinking about it. You just put your head down and go. I tend to be like that, but I can only do that for so long. Whereas others of us, it is very emotional. Like, and our mind fills with all the questions and you're like, okay, I got to get the kids on board. I got to talk to my spouse. How's this going to work with my job? How's this going to work? And you start going. And so there's a part of this that we probably don't talk about enough, but it's very emotional.
Yes.
And you
totally.
cycle through a feeling of, it's like when you go to a conference and you're like ready to go and like run through a wall and you feel great. Then you get home and you're like, oh, it wore off.
Yes.
And now I'm just here alone with the things that I have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the way I grew up and how money felt and like all of these things that hit us. And so my encouragement would be, it's not just a light switch. And if it doesn't feel like a light switch, that is totally fine. Like getting out of debt is a process. It's like a marriage or a relationship. You recommit every single day. Like you recommit and say, I am doing this. I'm here for this. I want this. And if it feels like that, that's not bad. It just means you're working through it and it's tough.
Well, and I think what it exposes to is, I was reading a book recently and he said this and I was like, it's so true. Because I tend to, have the mindset of like, you should do it.
Yeah,
like, just do it. But he was talking about how willpower only gets you so far.
It only gets you so far.
And that exposes the roots and the depth of money, you guys. Like, we talk about this a lot, but I'm like, money, like we just see the budgets and the math up top, but like what it represents underneath is so much. And so much of it can be our self-esteem, our identity, the way we do things, our ego. I mean, like, there's so much wrapped in it. So when you change this knob up here, it shifts the character of who you are, like to a degree. And so the willpower, to your point, it can maybe get you like getting started, but to keep you going long term, it's a character shift.
It is.
It's something, the way you're looking at life is different, and that perspective is so different.
So true. You're learning that, okay, it's not just me controlling my money. It's me controlling my emotions. It's me controlling myself. Like, you are so right. It is a much deeper, which is why we say when you change your money, you change your life. Everything.
Yes.
It connects to everything. So,
So good. Oh, Jade, thanks for coming back on.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Gosh, every time you come on, people love you. So I'm always so thankful. Thankful for your friendship. Thankful for your message and everything. And so where can people follow you? Yeah,
always come on to social media. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. I almost said Twitter, Instagram. But I guess it's X now. And Instagram, that's where I'm actually, like, Instagram is where I'm commenting. It's not somebody helping me out.
But Jade, I know you have a lot coming up. I'm excited. I want to say there's 3 things right
there's
now that I'm like,
Rachel.
Here, this is happening with Jade, but they will come out
a lot
as they need to come out. But your message will be heard much
from
grander from the rooftops, which is what we need. So we love it. We love it. Well, thanks again, Jade. So I'm so thankful you got to see that conversation, because I want you to know that debt payoff is achievable, but there are a lot of real factors that make it difficult. So be sure to check out why 51% of Americans are struggling in their finances. You can click there, or if you're listening on podcast, click the link below. All right, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.